Today I stand before you not just as a representative of law enforcement and the criminal justice system, but as a true guardian of justice and public safety. And everybody behind me, they actually are the guardians of the galaxy. The mission is clear. It's to uphold the rule of law and to ensure that those who evade accountability will be brought to justice. Fugitives are individuals who have chosen to run from the consequences of their actions. And their flight is not just personal, it's an affront to our entire justice system and the safety of our communities. Every single day, they remain at large. Public safety is threatened, and justice is delayed for victims. And as someone who's worked with victims for over 30 years and is a board member of Parents of Murdered Children, I can unequivocally tell you that grief is intensified when justice is lacking. That's why it's so imperative and important that we bring these fugitives to justice to ensure victims have their day in court. So I'm proud and honored that Crime Stoppers has a role with all these incredible agencies and our partners, and I'm going to turn it over to the U.S. Marshal.
Thank you, sir. Any questions? I think he pretty much said everything we were going to say. So we'll just dismiss and start with questions. No. Howdy, everyone. I appreciate you coming. You know, this is a very critical moment for us to come up and be representative as to this dynamic synergy. I want you to remember that word, dynamic synergy, because this is what you see. And I have witnessed this for a good many years, not necessarily across the nation, but for sure in the South Texas region and mostly here in Houston. So I want to talk to you about Operation Washout. This is the operation that we have done for the last 3 weeks. And of course we had to use Space City because we want to separate ourselves from any of the other washouts, which now we've been informed has been the nation's first in results. So it is what you see behind us that made these things happen. Now this is all started and sponsored, I guess you say sponsored, it's a leading operation for Homeland Security Task Force and Fugitive Investigative Strike Teams. This is new. The administration, DOJ and Homeland Security, decided to consolidate some of these operations and task forces to enable a more robust access and resource base, and that's what you see today. Because, you know, for the longest time, law enforcement worked in stovepipes, state, local, and federal jurisdiction. And the evolution, and that's what I pushed very hard coming from a state or local jurisdiction as sheriff, is that we needed them bad. We needed the state, we needed the federal, we didn't have the funds. So as this thing's growing into finding itself of operations, we've become the leaders as to how to do it because we've already done this over the years. And matter of fact, some of the representation, and I served on this Homeland Strike Team task force overseeing the development of this. And I tell them, I said, well, we already do this. What's new? Well, what's new, it's not a common denominator across the nation, and that's what they're trying to do to make sure that there's abundance of resources and personnel. And that's how we are and where we are today. I, as U.S. Marshal, have the authority to swear in all jurisdictions to expand their authority. And so I, swear them in as special U.S. deputies. Probably about close to 60 officers from all jurisdictions, including marshals from across the country, from California, Arizona, Colorado, and parts of the East Coast. And they all want to come here. Why? It's because they see the results And when you have a winning team, what happens? Everybody wants to be on it, which even makes it even better for us. But let's take a perspective, because we need you, the media, and we need the people in the communities. So how do you associate that? Because you have to give the message. You know, we're not just the messengers. We're the ones that bring justice to the forefront. And that's the key thing. And I appreciate you coming and reporting this to the communities of the Houston Metroplex, and including Galveston. What we're going to do, I'm going to introduce everyone here that's representing, and then thereafter, I've asked a certain representative where they have a major case that we successfully apprehended the violent fugitives. But before I say this, remember that word, dynamic synergy. If anybody asks you what was this all about, it was our dynamic synergy that made these things happen. And I consider this pretty much, we're a part of the big picture of Neighborhood Watch, as well as Crime Stoppers. The only difference, we're the ones that's part of it that's on steroids, because we expand this to all aspects, all parts of the communities, and I think it's essential that we continue to do this. So talk it up in your communities, talk it up in your media group, because this is the silent warriors back here. And I try not to keep them silent. I think you, the community, the media, and all of us are stakeholders, and I think it's good to know us. It's what we do and how we do it. And, you know, they're not looking for recognition, because most of them wouldn't talk today. I'd ask them, you got something to say? Oh, no, Marshal, even if you may call me, but please don't. So I would like to call out the representatives here that's been a major part of this operation and previous operations. So from HSI, Special Agent in Charge, Chad Plants. Where are you? All right. See, he's the one that's hiding behind that poster. ATF SAC, Michael Waddell. Where is he? All right. Missing in action. FBI Agent ASAC, Ryan Whalen. Where? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to should have put them in order. DEA Houston SAC, Jerry Bigham. Say what? He will be talking on a couple cases too. And then Harris County Precinct 2, Constable Jerry Garcia. Jerry? Okay. Galveston Precinct 1, Constable Blake Patton. Harris County Precinct Constable Alan Rosen. Harris County Sheriff's Office, Chief John Nanny. Okay, very good. You know, I look like a bobbing head when I'm trying to find out where you are. HPD Executive Assistant, Chief Gooseman. Okay, thanks. And then Harris County Precinct 5, Leslie Turner. You're supposed to be up here. Oh, no, you don't. You're very key to being a part of this. DPS, CID, Region Major, Scott Rosenberry. He's the tallest guy in the crowd. There you go. And he put an emphasis, he wrote, because we were adding no speaking role. Okay. So, Deputy Chief Sebastian Edwards with the U.S. Attorney. He's here, and he too said no speaking role, but it's a relay race. We're going to bring these things to him, and then he's going to carry it further. Where are you? What, y'all are hiding back there. All right. Anyway, let's get down to the information and I think the critical aspect of why we're here. As I said, I made some remarks earlier, and so I won't elaborate anymore. But I've been in law enforcement for over 40 some odd years, and matter of fact, we have a reporter here that she reported. I'm sorry, that's my mistake. She's a PIO for DEA. And we've crossed our paths many years ago when she was a reporter in Victoria while I was sheriff. And we were talking about a situation that was pretty humorous. She was a rookie reporter. I'm going to say this because it's all a part of team, and it's all a part of what we do. And so we were out in the country, and she was new to the station there locally. And she comes, she's got to be the videographer, reporter, everything all in one. It was late night. And I asked her, well, how are you going to do the illumination? You know, I guess we were going to use all our phones to give her some lighting. So we figured to improvise, we brought up patrol cars. And it looked like daylight by the time, and she got the mission accomplished where she was able to. And so I appreciate seeing her now and being the PIO with DEA. So again, what I'd like to ask to come up is DEA agent, special agent, Jeremy Bigham, and talk about a case that we have. You're going to put up the picture? All right. Here you go.
Thank you, Marshal. My name is J.D. Bigham, B-I-G-H-A-M. I'm the DEA Houston Division Assistant Special Agent in charge. I like the term dynamic synergy. This case kind of highlights that. We had a couple of folks participating with the Marshals on this and providing analytical support out of our Galveston office. And so during the same week of this Operation Washout, the DEA Galveston office was supporting a Harris County Constable Precinct 2 case. And they were targeting an offender with known violent criminal history. So in the middle of that, and in the middle of the Marshals doing Operation Washout, we obtained a search warrant for a residence right in southeast Houston. And we called the Marshals, one of the Gulf Coast task forces, and they're like, yeah, we'll come over and do it. They stopped what they were doing in their operation to come over and support us. And that's some dynamic synergy. So what happened as a result of that search warrant, we were able to find a residence where narcotics was stored and guns. As a matter of fact, we seized, as a result of that search warrant, over 70,000 THC vape cartridges, over 30,000 THC edible products, 15 pounds of marijuana packaged for distribution, and 11 firearms, rifles and pistols, several of which had been manipulated and were fully automatic. So, as you can see in the picture, look, illegal activity drives illegal activity, right? This was right, all these drugs were being stored in one of our communities. So as DEA and with our partners, we're targeting the illegal distribution of these synthetics, unregulated synthetic substances. And why would we do that? Well, they're dangerous. These things, the potency level of some of these products, they're unknown. The quality control, if it exists at all, is poor. And this is a whole of government approach that we're taking on these steps. Also, many of these people that distribute vape cartridges, THC cartridges, are also selling hard drugs, cocaine, fentanyl, heroin, and things like that. Look, the Department of Justice has found that China is flooding our communities with these chemicals, right? 86% of these chemicals that are coming in vapes are considered illegal products, 86%. And that's from U.S. retail sales data. So as the Department of Justice with DEA and with our partners here, we will continue to pursue these criminals that are right in our communities. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You know, when I became marshal, I told them in Southern District of Texas, we're going to reach out to all aspects of communities and not just the major metropolitans, because a lot of criminal activity expands out into these more rural area. I mean, I don't consider Galveston rural, but in those areas, it's important that we have that synergy to reach out in those communities, because they're in just as much need as the major agencies here in Harris County. So I think it's working. We take care of business. If you're not familiar, our district, our region goes from Houston Metroplex, it goes down to Galveston, goes toward Beaumont, it goes up to Walker County and College Station, and then it goes over to Laredo. So all of that in the Gulf Coast, all of South Texas, and the border. So we have a variance of criminality, but it does have a common denominator, criminality. And it's all related to trafficking and drugs. And that's why the synergy is so essential, because it leads to some of these other regions that do not have the capability or the knowledge of how to even address some of these things. So I'm very proud that this team here is truly the leaders in law enforcement on all aspects of what law and order is about. Okay, Harris County Assistant Chief Johnny Nanny is going to talk about the next case.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Assistant Chief John Nanny, and I'm here on behalf of Sheriff Ed Gonzalez and the Harris County Sheriff's Office. We want to thank all of our partner agencies here today and recognize a tremendous collaborative effort that made Operation Washout Space City Takedown a success. This operation is a powerful example of multiple agencies coming together for a shared purpose to make our neighborhoods safer. Violent crime is one of the greatest challenges facing our communities. It affects families, neighborhoods, businesses, and overall the quality of life. Addressing these issues require more than just isolated actions. It demands a united, proactive, and strategic approach. That's exactly what we saw during this operation. From September the 8th through the 19th, law enforcement agencies from across multiple jurisdictions and disciplines came together with one clear mission: to take down violent offenders threatening the safety of our communities. Together, we acted as a force multiplier, which goes with the dynamic synergy that was previously mentioned, enhancing our other strengths and capabilities to achieve outcomes none of us could accomplish alone. Through this partnership, we were able to take down dangerous individuals off the streets, seize weapons and narcotics, and disrupt violent criminal networks. One example of this powerful partnership occurred on September the 15th when a deputy from our crime reduction unit conducted a proactive traffic stop in a high crime area. The stop led to the seizure of methamphetamines and 2 improvised explosive devices. The situation required immediate support from the Harris County Sheriff's Office Bomb Squad and federal partners with the ATF to ensure the devices were not active. Thanks to the expertise, the devices were rendered safe, and the suspect, John Stephen Rowe, was arrested for possession of a controlled substance on 2 counts of possession and prohibited weapons. Beyond these tactical wins, our collective effort sends message. We are united in protecting our communities and committed to working together for lasting safety. I want to acknowledge the bravery and dedication of every peace officer involved. Their professionalism and commitment were on full display, from intercepting dangerous narcotics and weapons to apprehending violent fugitives and ensuring public safety during high-risk operations. Thank you to all our partners and the community for your continued support. We know that the fight continues to reduce violent crime in Harris County, and we remain dedicated to working hand in hand to create a safer Harris County for all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, we'll have HPD Assistant Chief Gooseman. Chief?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. I'm Executive Assistant Chief Alvaro Guzman, and on behalf of Chief of Police Noe Diaz, it's an honor that we have been part of this operation, Marshal.
Yes, sir.
So I want to begin by thanking our law enforcement partners for their joint effort on this initiative. Their dedication and hard work are the driving forces behind the achievements we are highlighting today. Our top priority remains tackling violent crime across Houston, specifically focusing on violent offenders who pose serious threats to our neighborhoods and removing them from our streets. This operation resulted in numerous arrests of violent offenders and the removal of many firearms and large quantities of drugs from the streets of Houston. One such example occurred on September 17, 2025. A Harris County deputy shared security footage and a getaway vehicle description of a bank robbery suspect with a member of the Homeland Security Task Force Fugitive Investigative Strike Team. The information was passed to our South Gessner Crime Suppression Team, who located the vehicle and attempted a traffic stop. The driver fled, initiating a pursuit. The pursuit ended when the driver crashed and attempted to flee on foot, but was apprehended. The driver was charged with evading in a motor vehicle. A subsequent criminal check showed a prior federal bank robbery conviction, and an FBI task force officer later conducted a photo spread with the two complainants, both of whom immediately identified the suspect as the bank robber. Operation Washout Space City Takedown highlights what can be achieved when law enforcement agencies work together. While this success is significant, we remain committed in working alongside our partners to hold offenders accountable, protect our neighborhoods, and strengthen the safety and trust of the community we proudly serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Last but not least, we're going to ask Precinct 1 Constable Alan Rosen to come say a few words about, and not necessarily going to talk about the case, but talk about the collaboration that we've had over the years.
Thank you, Marshall. You know, it takes leadership to put together a diverse, dynamic group like we have here. You have federal, state, local working collaboratively for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to ensure that violent criminals are taken off our street. Those people that scare us is who we want taken off the street. They contribute to crime, and this group focused just in a 2-week period of time and had those kind of results. This is what law enforcement does. This is our job. But when it comes together with this diverse group of agencies working collaboratively, I had many options of putting people from my team on federal task forces. And the reason I chose the Gulf Coast Violent Offenders Task Force is because I felt that it would impact crime the most. Getting these people off the street was the single biggest thing that we could do to impact crime. And so I am just amazed at the work that's been done here. I'm hoping the backside of the criminal justice system does its job, but it takes leadership, Marshall. Yes. And you put that together, and we are happy to be a contributing member of the Gulf Coast Violent Offenders Task Force. They go after the very worst of criminals that we're looking for. And they don't do it for fanfare, they don't do it for recognition, they do it because it's the right thing. And it makes all of our communities safer. So my hat's off to every one of them. Those that can't be seen on camera, hear my thank you to you, because I appreciate everything you do every day. You put your life on the line to go get the worst criminals that we have on the street. So God bless you and your families, and thank you very much, Marshall. It's an honor to stand here with you and other law enforcement partners, and I appreciate your leadership.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Well, we'll open it up in just a second for some questions. But again, I must have an emphasis. Have you ever probably heard, justice is coming? I'm sure we all have. Well, justice is here. And the Marshal Service is a support service. I mean, we don't go out and investigate, but we need these agencies and offices and departments to be up ahead and then allow us to come in and assist them. They're all very capable of doing it on their own accord. But when you can collaborate like this and communicate, we just give a greater impact on the criminal element. So I can say that in closing, the word justice is coming. I'd rather prefer saying justice is here. We pursue the Marshal Service. It can be 15 years ago or 5 minutes ago. And there's been some of them that we recalled that was a very active major homicide, and we were able to divert, as I mentioned, about Galveston and go after them. So thank you very much for taking the time and coming and listening to our story. And I hope the people in our communities of Houston and the surrounding areas believe in us, because we are part of that neighborhood watch, and we will continue. But we need the community just as much to be a part in helping us, helping you. Thank you. We'll open it up for any questions at this time.
Marshall, I have a question. Obviously the results speak for themselves, right? And I think everyone who's at home probably watching this right now can see the collaborative effort from so many different agencies, local, state, and federal. But obviously there's probably going to be people in Houston who say that's not enough. 232 total warrants, 320 warrants cleared, but there's so much more crime out there in our community. Can you share with Houston a message about, one, why is this effort so important, but how it will continue and what that looks like for the future?
Well, we're focused, for one thing. And, we got a winning team. Why would we even stop when we're making it? It's kind of like, I try to use acronyms. I mean, they kid me about it. I'll say cowboy up, growing as a cowboy. I ride with the Cowboys, things like that. So I can only compare what you've asked me. It's like taking a bite out of a smash burger, which is pretty significant in size, as we all can relate to. We can't all take it in and ingest it all at once. So one bite at a time. But this isn't the first time. We continue. And so many times I've been out in the field with them, and we'll have some of the people in the community come to us as we're apprehending these violent fugitives and thank us. So we know we're making great strides. It's just unfortunate that we can't be everywhere at all times. And so when the departments and agencies and whatnot call upon us, we're going to focus where they think it needs to be addressed. And I do believe there's been areas over the years that some of them community has been repeated, but we've expanded even more to a broader scope of where we go and what we do for the sake of law and order.
Second question from me. I think obviously from what we see here is that, especially with our local partners, right, they know this community well, they know Houston, maybe better than some of the marshals who came from California or other jurisdictions. Why is it so important that local and state agencies get involved with you all to help, better patrol and reduce crime in the areas that they know so well?
I think you just answered the question, basically, because, we have task force members. That's what our task forces are about. We have federal, state, and local. Because like these operations, they were essential in going and help. We've gotten to know some of the agencies, offices, and departments because we're in their neighborhoods to which they oversee. And we can't go, you're right. It's a manpower, personnel power. Men and women come from all over and want to be a part of it. It's a multiplier that's essential. But bottom line, if we don't have the local jurisdiction as well as the state, we're not effective. We're just not. We can pick here and there and go to one case or another. But when you can build this up, you just only heard 3 or 4 cases that came out of this that felt like it was a major case for us and for, those representative here to talk on. But I mean, we have pages and pages that went on through this whole operation, and some of them we cannot discuss because they're ongoing and in investigation. But that's the key aspect, is to assure everyone a part of it. And yes, there'll be people in the community that will say, well, you didn't come my part of the world, or you're not doing enough. Bear with us. You know, we too have limited resources. No excuse. But if you're that interested and you're saying it's not coming to your community, let us know. Talk to the police department. Talk to the sheriff's offices, constable offices. They're our representative. They're your representative, and tell them what you have going that you feel is essential to take attention to. Now, I'm sure there's more questions. We may have to have the PIOs start asking questions. Anybody else? This is our best bet right here. I mean, we don't get many opportunities to come before you as who we are and what we're all about. So I'm more than happy to elaborate, but as a former sheriff, most of the time you have to take the microphone away from them, and that's probably where we're getting close to. So, anybody else? All right, well, I tell you, we'll be available, so if you need to do interviews on the individual basis, it'll be their choice to do such, and I hope they do, but some policies by their agency and whatnot may make it prohibitive, but I hope they will be able to communicate. Again, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming here, and thank you for reporting to our community. We are a part of your community. We live here, and we're a part of it, and we want to be proud of all of the region to which we serve. Thank you.